Welcome to week two's lecture, which is entitled Civilizations of the World. We will just cover a bit of the early civilizations, Mesopotamia, Indus, Egypt, Cairo, a bit on African and Islamic empires, and the origin of numbers, where we count numbers and understand the natural number system. Right, we will move to a chart. We have actually discussed in the first lecture regarding civilization, society, technology, and culture. And this is a brief timeline of how the civilizations evolved. So we have Sumerian. We started off continuing with ancient Egypt down to Indus Valley in the 2300s and the Babylonian Empire in the 1500 BC. Okay, we can also point out here that ancient Greece is towards the 700 BC, and finally Roman Empire is towards 100 BC. So we can see here the amount of civilizations that has progressed over time, but we are going to look specifically into Mesopotamia, China, India, and also Egypt. So the first civilizations, this is the depiction of the civilization where humans took the step from new Stone Age to civilization in two independent developments. And shortly before 3000 BC, people of the Indus Valley, or in today's Pakistan, who have lived in small villages, they planted wheat and barley and kept herds of cattle, sheep, and goats. So you can see here how animals were instrumental in that civilization, as well as construction of cities. As we are exploring Sumerians, who had moved from Anatolia into Mesopotamia, we see that the Tigris rivers are so important in today's Iran and Iraq, focusing on agriculture, weaving, metalwork, pottery, and other different types of industries. The script of Indus Valley over here, we have the Sumerian cuneiform writing as part of technology. And there are many parallels between these two civilizations where we have a division of labor. And each of the civilization incorporates large public buildings. So take a look at this picture where we have large public buildings that are used for temples and warehouses for storage. So once again, this is seen today in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Right? So moving on, we have depictions of figures. We looked at the most important people were made the tallest to symbolize a social status or a symbol. And in the same vein, a beard or a honest figure. So there are many types of figure made up over here, which signifies a man of a powerful position. Okay, we have also looked into other early civilizations. This is Egypt, where fertile rivers are a form of transportation and a form of agriculture, and also seen as one of the elements of the development of civilization. Okay, so agriculture is relatively very important because they have annual floods, and the Egyptian civilization during the civilization of where these kingdoms have different social classes. And Menes actually founded Egypt's capital, Memphis. So it was, we have agriculture, we have architecture of the Great Sphinx and Giza pyramids, even until today in Cairo. So we have discussed also the functionalities of the different ruling classes that were in the Egyptian society. Priests, who were considered the second literate group. They were in charge of teaching, reading, writing. They keep administrative records, and they are so-called the stand on the shoulders. They are the society, the next generation of priests that stand on the shoulders of the people who rule Egypt. Right? And as we can see here, a lot of technological inventions were made and advancements were made during that time in terms of tradesmen, in terms of skills and apprentices, where they learn. So the scientists and priests learn from each other and even from different social classes. So the first civilization developed on Crete. So we discussed Crete, where is today's Greece in the Eastern Mediterranean. We have many architectures over here and how it's very relevant to the Minoan civilization. and also spanning across Greece, Rome, modern Europe, and also USA. And it's very remarkable to see that from our Neolithic age to our civilization currently in the Middle East and also Asia or Africa, we can see the almost same rise of architecture, as well as we can see the invitation for some of different racial inferiority of the American indigenous people. Right, this is a picture of the American civilization where we also discuss a lot of what has come into light, discovery of the Corral. Okay, so in this civilization, was based on rich fishing grounds of the Pacific Ocean, where the coastal waters of Peru was a very symbolic, fertile coastal region of the city. Right, we look more into other civilizations, African civilizations over here, where we have the sub-Saharan African and Indian subcontinent, where even we can say Islam, where Muslim rulers found highly developed civilizations, and they were ready to adopt ideas and achievements from Islamic civilization. Okay, we also discuss how in Black Africa around 1300 AD, we have the notion, and also we have the experience that Africa has suffered greatly during the colonial period. So colonialism also comes into play over here. And we look at other founding regions such as Zimbabwe, Mozambique, during the 8th to the 15th century. Right, so this is something to reflect on, picking on a photo and studying the civilization, any sort of civilization to study. So photos, as I have shown over here, you can use for reflection. Now, moving into the development of the numerical system. So we can see here that we have factor diagram for systems, which are including counting without numbers, or counting, where many civilizations started to have different types of numerical systems over here. Number systems such as the decimal number system, the binary, octal, and hexadecimal number system. So number systems are very important. We ask ourselves, how as human beings can we live or live without numerical systems? Are we able to increase our quality of life with numerical systems to measure or even to be accurate? Okay, so these are a few. And these were very prevalent during the 20th century, even in the Middle East. Okay, so this is something you can look into. So that is the so-called recap of chapter 2, our second week. And for tutorials, this week you are to do individual tutorials and to answer 7 questions. So 6 questions and 1 reflection based on those 4 different videos that I've uploaded. Which ancient medicine and treatments do we still use today? What are some of the types of medicine used in Sumeria? What does pharmacon mean? What were some of Hippocrates' beliefs in medicine? What's bloodletting? And Galen's understanding of anatomy and medicine was principally influenced by the then current theory of the 4 humors. Explain that theory. So the answers to all these 6 will be in the videos over here. And finally, we have a reflection question. In your opinion, what are the most important contributions made by ancient civilizations in medicine?